So hello and welcome to the Irish Independence look ahead to this weekend's action in the League of Ireland. We're back after the mid-season break. I'm here with Sean O'Connor. Sean, you were in Croatia with the Irish under-21, so you got to see people like Al O'Sullivan and Sean Grehan. I was in Luxembourg watching the Irish team and Josh Honan not playing, so we've both, I suppose, mixed experiences. But to start maybe with Shamrock Rovers and Josh Honan, disappointment for Josh maybe not to get game time, but I suppose a chance for him in that game against Shelbourne to show why he was in the Irish squad in the first place.
Yeah, he'll be, I suppose anyone going into their first Ireland camp is hoping for that debut, that first cap. And we saw Killian Phillips, John Patrick Finn do the same. No first cap for Honahan. I know you were in the Shamrock Rovers camp on Thursday morning speaking to Stephen Bradley ahead of the big Dublin derby, but just on this game, as you said, big opportunity for Josh to show what he's made of, show the form, why he earned the call up in the first place, his first call up there a couple of weeks ago. But just on this Dublin derby, what a way to go back into the league action. So at Dublin derby at Tolka Park, TV cameras there, Damien Duff against Stephen Bradley. I suppose coming off the break, we all saw Damien Duff's comments on his own opinions of the break, but I think just with the couple of injury issues Shells have had the last few weeks, the break for them injury wise was probably no harm, just to give lads a little bit of time off. And they have been hit with injuries. We saw Paddy Barrett making his way back in the last while.
And Lewis Temple, who's been out for a while, was on the bench last week, so maybe there. And Conor Kearns should be back as well. So
Conor Kearns
Shells should be a little bit stronger. But again, being in the Shamrock Rovers camp this morning, when you see the size of the squad, they've no injuries. It is an awesome game, and you was slightly fear for Shelbourne. They were so, I suppose, a little bit vulnerable before the break, and now Shamrock Rovers are coming at them, back from everyone back fit, coming at them. So you would feel this is a chance for Shamrock Rovers to make a statement. The other game in Dublin is St Pat's at home to Drogheda, and Drogheda, probably a club who again found the wins kind of dried up a little bit in the previous couple of weeks. They did beat Bohemians with a penalty, but Drogheda, key for them would be Douglas James Taylor, who missed the first part of the season with injury, came in, made a real impact. His loan is due to expire. We have to see how that goes. So I think Drogheda, we're waiting to see what their squad is like at the end of those loan spells.
We were talking about Ireland debuts there, and as you said, I was in Croatia at the under-21 camp. There was first under-21 cap for Warren Davis. He's Drogheda's top goal scorer so far this season. He's had a brilliant start to the season. I was speaking to him out in Croatia. We'll wait and see if Kevin Doherty will, rest the likes of him just after that 10 days in Croatia. Might bring him off the bench, or he might be well enough to start in the game. We'll have to wait and see. But just on this game, fourth against second, both finding wins a little bit hard to come by in the last couple of weeks. Both with one win in their last three. St Pat's were on a tricky couple of weeks.
Very vulnerable, like a lot of clean sheets. Joseph and Ang had a lot of clean sheets earlier on, but just they seem to be quite open at the back the last few weeks.
But that big win, I think, was away to Sligo before the break, was absolutely massive for them. You want to go into the break off a little bit of momentum behind you, not on a down note, and that was a big win for them. They'll be hoping to back that up now. But as we all know, Drogheda can pose you real problems. We've said a lot of times on these shows, the story continues for Drogheda. It's such an impressive start to the season, but it got past a certain point where it wasn't just an impressive start, it's just impressive form regardless. Like, we're over the halfway point now and they're still up the top end. So it's really hard to call that one.
And just on the break again, Alan Reynolds, Bows manager, said he's in favour of it. He likes players going away, getting a break, getting a rest. Damien Duff clearly doesn't agree, but I think one manager who would have relished the break is Jared Nash at Cork. He came in mid-season, very rushed. He was involved in his club in Sweden at a game on Wednesday, and I think on Thursday morning he was on a flight to Ireland to come back and play. So he needs time to get to know the league, get to know the players. And I think that's a very tough game for them at home to Bohemians, who, again, they only have Sean Grehan, again, another lone player. They only have him for another couple of weeks, try to maximise as much as they can out of him. But I would fear for the form the Bohemians were showing, despite that slip against Drogheda. You would slightly fear for Cork a little bit.
Yeah, you mentioned Jared Nash's arrival there. It kind of reminded me of Stephen Kenny's arrival off St Pat's last May, how he came in and there's really little time to work in the training ground. I think Stephen Kenny had something like 5 games in maybe 2.5 weeks. It was a mad schedule in that May period. But Jared Nash that week will have done, from his point of view, hopefully wonders from their point of view, to get a bit of work in the training pitch, drive home his philosophy, how he wants to play. And obviously Cork City coast in the first division last year. They found life really, really hard. Obviously been hit by injuries. Sean Maguire missing out a couple of weeks as well. Rory Keaton as well, massive loss. And now they'll have to do everything they can to secure their Pound Division status. Obviously Sligo Rovers down the bottom there as well. We have seen Bows obviously kicking a form the last couple of weeks, and you kind of think back to when these two sides met in April. James McManus off the bench 5 minutes from time with a big winner, and that you feel like that kind of kick-started Bohemians. Incredible run of results since then, and obviously Adam Reynolds want to be continuing that form now.
It's early in the window, so a lot of managers probably keeping their powder dry in terms of signing players. Galway United have signed one international from Trinidad and Tobago, Malcolm Shaw. He won't be eligible, he's not eligible till July, but that's I suppose that Galway needed a little bit something different as well, relying too much on Moses Dyer. They're away to Derry, again another club who probably will have a lot of upheaval. Local media this week linking them maybe with Pat Hooban, who hasn't really kicked on there, maybe been linked to Coleraine going back to Rory Higgins, but Derry probably that squad will be tinkered with over the month, but Galway I suppose trying to get to the end of the month and then bring in this new international signing they have. And
I know Galway really pushed Derry all the way in this one when the sides met. I think back in April, Derry I should say won 3-2, but there was a couple of late goals as well. They really were made to work for it. It just is hearing John Caulfield speak about Moses Dyer a couple of weeks ago. They seem to find absolute gems, and John Caulfield was very honest how, you know, every signing like that isn't going to work. You might have a couple of ones that don't work out. For the ones that do, like Moses Dyer, like an incredible sign, incredible start to the season he's had, and obviously they'll be hoping this new signing from Trinidad and Tobago, the international, will be hoping to make a similar impact as Moses Dyer has made.
And again, speaking of internationals, the Saturday fixture, Sligo Rovers against Waterford, big moment for Steve McMullen, the Waterford goalkeeper, called up by Michael O'Neill to the Northern Ireland senior squad this week. I suppose a sign of how highly regarded he is. Sligo really probably in a bit of trouble at the moment. John Russell critical of players in the last while, which he hadn't been, backed them earlier on, but he has raised a lot of question marks about their attitude and performance over the last few weeks. And Waterford clearly had that upsurge in form under John Coleman, but you just wonder where that restart is going to come for Sligo.
Yeah, for Sligo, just before the break, seeing comments from John Russell kind of acknowledging that he was under pressure, his team is under pressure. Bottom at the mid-season break, it comes to a certain point where you just need results. They've been really competitive in pretty much. There's been very, very few games where they have not been competitive, really putting it up against the likes of Rovers, Shells, Bows. But it just comes to a certain point when you need results. They're conceding too many at the back. They're not really getting enough from their attacking players, and a result here would be a perfect way to kick back into the season.
So after a 2-week break, we are back to action. 4 games on Friday, 1 game on Saturday. As usual, we'll have all the reports, analysis, comment on the Irish Independent across the weekend.